Spice up your tailgate with locally raised farm fresh products at Davis Farms Country Market, like the new Code 3 and Davis Double D Farm Salsa, fresh from the field in locally grown purple hull peas, super sweet vine ripened cantaloupes, Arkansas made meals that are easy on your wallet and your time. And nothing says fall has arrived like mums and pumpkins. There are plenty to choose from at Davis Farms Country Market, 4523 Junction City Highway, or call 870-639-1323.
Buying this boat was a total no-brainer.
Okay, I get it. You say no-brainer and the guy with no brain shows up.
I'm sorry, we meant our new boat.
For a new boat? You don't call me. You call State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is...
There?
I was gonna say that.
He's right. Your State Farm agent can help you choose the right coverage for your new boat and your RV. It's kind of a no-brainer. Easy decision.
All right.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
At the Carl Malone family of dealerships, Ford El Dorado, Chevy El Dorado, Toyota El Dorado, and Carl Malone Toyota of Ruston, the mailman always delivers. With over 200 brand new vehicles and over 150 quality pre-owned options, you're sure to find the perfect ride. Looking to sell? We'll buy your vehicle, paid on the spot. 4 dealerships, one name you can trust, Carl Malone. Because when it comes to great deals, the mailman delivers.
For nearly 50 years, South Arkansas floors have been covered by El Dorado Custom Carpets. And not just carpets, but true hardwood, laminate, stone, porcelain, ceramic, marble, and more. And guess what? It doesn't end with just floors. El Dorado Custom Carpets carries a tremendous selection of backsplash, wall tile, and area rugs. The truth of the matter is, one commercial can't come close to telling you everything you can find at El Dorado Custom Carpets, 1601 East Main Street in El Dorado. Call 870-862-4945. It's time for Fifth and Goal with Jax Sanford, interviewing all of the area high school coaches on last week's game and their upcoming opponent. Let's go live now to Mystic Grill at Mystic Creek Golf Club. Here's your host, Jax Sanford.
And welcome to another episode of Fifth and Goal, hosted here live at the Mystic Creek Grill. My name's Jax Sanford. I've been hosting this so far this year, and I'm sitting here with Coach Jason Porter, the head coach for the Strong Bulldogs. Coach, man, glad to have you back again this week. And you guys had a bye week this week, and now you know now you know what the playoff bracket looks like. You know what possibilities there are. You guys are entering into the playoffs 4-1. And have played really well so far this year. And before we start looking forward to the playoffs, just kind of go ahead and give me just a quick, just maybe some of the high points that you're most proud of so far this season.
Yeah, this bunch, like I said, when we started, we graduated 8 seniors off that team that won the state championship last year, and you know, I've seen these kids kind of grow up a little bit, but I still didn't know if they were going to be any good or not. Honestly, we had pretty much a whole new team out there, and it's been a little more rocky than last year's bunch, but they've kind of got through a lot of injuries, came out, ended up second seed overall. I think we're ranked second or third in the state, and I think we're kind of finally hitting a stride a little bit, and that's all you want at the end of the season. As long as we get to the playoffs, everybody healthy, feel pretty good about it. So.
That's right. Now, I know that in one of your games earlier this season, you faced a lot of you had a game with a lot of turnovers, and since then, you guys haven't really had a whole lot of turnovers. And so just kind of tell me what that turnaround's been like for you guys.
That game against Woodlawn, we had 3 turnovers, then 3 onside kicks we didn't recover. That's 6 turnovers. And that was the conference right there. And since then, we haven't had any turnovers, 0. And that's what we dwelled on. I mean, we beat it to death after that game. And that's kind of the key to most football games, tight ones anyway. Now we're just working on keeping these penalties down. I feel good about, the kids responding to that. So Awesome. And, Coach, you guys are heading into the first round of the playoffs, and you guys are going to be hosting Southside. And you just told me a minute ago that Southside is around Batesville. That's right. Yeah, it's about 3.5 hours from Strong. We played them last year, first round of the playoffs. They came to us. So, they kind of, for them, I think that's a little advantage because when you got to come anywhere above Little Rock to Strong, if you've never been there, it's a little culture shock, and two, it's a long drive. Mm-hmm. So most of those kids have probably at least, one, seen the drive, and two, they've seen Strong now. So we don't expect that to be a big a deal as it was last year. They were, kind of shocked when they got there.
Okay.
So.
And now this Southside team, when you're watching film, what are you looking at them offensively?
Yeah, as far as the teams we've played, they're the most balanced or multiple. They're probably 50-50 run pass, which you don't see that a lot in 8-man either. Somebody's really throwing it a lot, or they're really just going to pound the ball. So we've had to prepare a little bit differently than we normally have. Usually we can really kind of sit down and say they're going to run it 80%, pass it, whatever. And we've had to kind of split that up this week. So it's been a little different. Yeah.
And then what about defensively? What do they do well defensively?
They have a really solid defensive end that we saw last year. We're going to kind of get on him, double team him some, run away from him. They're just really sound on what they do and how they line up. They're going to know where to go. And a lot of times in an 8-man game, you don't see that a lot because you just don't have a lot of coaching going on because there's not that many. So I feel like they're well coached too.
Okay. And how are your guys responding in practice this week knowing it's playoff time?
Yeah, we had the exact same layoff as we did last year. The way our conference sets up, we have a bye. Our bye week happens to be the last week. So our boys the last couple of weeks have just been really trying to stay in shape. But they flipped the switch once it was, come Monday, it was a little different atmosphere. The weather changed too. Coach Jones were talking, man, that weather changes, man. It changes some of them boys. Like the linemen, they get excited. It's more football playoff weather, and that, the sun going down a little earlier too. So it changes everybody for the good.
I know that anytime it rolls around playoff time, everybody's mentality shifts, even if it's just a little bit. And I'm glad that your guys are responding well. Yeah. And so, if you guys are able to bring home the win on Friday night, you will either face Dermont or Cedar Ridge. If Dermont wins, then you guys will play another home game where Dermont will come here, and then if Cedar Ridge wins, then you guys would be traveling to Cedar Ridge, correct?
Right.
And so, obviously you have to make it past this first week, and that's what you are focusing in on with your players. But as the coach, you have to be planning ahead. And so what does each opponent there look like, and what could the rest of the playoffs look like?
So we've played Dermont early in the year. They've got a lot of speed. We know what they're going to do. And we feel comfortable that we played Cedar Ridge last year to get to the finals. We've already pre-scouted them, got the film from their game with Southside B Branch, a few others. They're 7. Cedar Ridge is going to be probably a pretty heavy favorite. They're the 1 seed from the north, and they do a lot of things like we do. They run a very similar offense, very disciplined. Have a really good quarterback. So I look for the seeds to kind of prevail. I figure they'll beat Dermont. One kink that I don't think we mentioned. Woodlawn's the 1 seed out of our side. They played Brinkley last week, and their quarterback, who is probably the conference player of the year, went down, which is going to kind of throw a wrench in the whole playoffs for everybody. Woodlawn's very good without him. They're a lot different team, which in 8-man, if you lose your quarterback, every team is going to be in a bind. And he hurt his knee, so we want to hope the kid gets better, but it's going to change the playoffs for everybody.
Yeah, that actually goes into my next question on who do you want to see make it to the state championship on the other side of the bracket?
I mean, we'd like to get another chance at Woodlawn. We were up at halftime against them. And, we had that debacle with Turnover City. So we'd love to see them again. And I still feel like they have a good enough team and a good enough draw to still get there, even if the quarterback's not playing. We have Cedar Ridge on our side if we, win our first game. And they're, like I say, Woodlawn's ranked 1, Cedar Ridge 2, we're 3 in the state rankings. And, we probably have a little tougher draw, but I'd like to see Woodlawn again, honestly.
Like to see Woodlawn again. Oh, yeah. No, and I understand how it goes. You take a loss to them in the regular season, and then you have a chance to face them again in the playoffs,
right.
Or for a chance for a state championship, and you just want it that much more.
Yeah. And
I think that getting that kind of matchup for your guys also would be really, really beneficial to y'all because it really stinks to lose to a team twice, and I know that you and your guys don't want that.
Right.
And so I know you guys are going to go in as prepared and as ready as possible for that matchup. And so there's only a handful of 8-man teams around the state, and so this is actually technically the quarterfinals for you guys this Friday, right? And then so if you win this Friday, you'll play the winner of Dermont Cedar Ridge, and then the winner of that game goes to the state championship.
Right, and they skip a week with ours. Like they'll still be playing playoffs on Thanksgiving Day, and the other classifications were off that week, and the state finals would start the Thursday night before that Friday weekend. So it would be December 5th, I believe.
I think that's the date.
The rest of them are the 6th and the 7th. Then they play the weekend after that. They do the 8-man game first because they put the extra line on the field. Then it gets taken off, the next day. So
yeah. Well, Coach, I know that I'm excited to see what you and your guys are going to do in this playoff. I hope that we get to talk about back-to-back state championships for the 8-man program out of Strong, and we're still going to be doing this show just as long as Union County teams are making it through the playoffs. And so I'm looking forward to getting to talk to you next week. Is there anything else that you want to say about your team before we let you go this week?
No, this week, we got a home game down at Strong. I know there's other local teams too that have games as well, and if you can make it down to Strong, it's gonna be fun to see. If not, hopefully we'll keep playing the week after. So
there you go. So make sure that you make it out to Strong this Friday night to watch them take on Southside. And Coach, thank you so much, and
thank you.
We'll be right back after this at SouthArkansasNow.com.
Every gift tells a story, and at Especially For You, they help you make it unforgettable. Birthdays, wedding showers, baby showers, graduations, or just because. Especially For You creates one-of-a-kind gifts made to touch the heart. Anyone can buy a gift card, but the best gifts aren't bought. They're made at Especially For You. Stop by and visit Especially For You and find the perfect gift for life's special moments.
For over 6 decades, Glenn Mechanical has been specializing in HVAC, plumbing, and all mechanical jobs. 3 generations, family-owned and operated since 1956. Glenn Mechanical's business is based on relationships. They support and give back to the communities they work in. Contact them for all of your HVAC, plumbing, and mechanical needs. GlennMechanical.com.
Located on 1,400 acres amidst Union County's scenic timberlands, LSB Industries' largest manufacturing facility and its employees have been a part of the El Dorado community for more than 40 years. Working together as one team, we are proud to call El Dorado home.
When it comes to your family's financial future, peace of mind matters. At Harrison Financial Management, they are right here to help you plan, grow, and protect what matters most. Whether you're planning for retirement, investing wisely, or securing your family's future, they will guide you every step of the way. Harrison Financial Management, your future, their commitment.
And welcome back to Fifth and Goal. My name is Jax Sanford. We're here live at the Mystic Creek Grill, and I've got the defensive coordinator for the Junction City Dragons, Coach Byron Jones. Coach Jones, you guys brought home a W from your home game on Friday night, 53-0 versus Spring Hill. And I feel like I have seen more shutouts from you guys on defense than not so far this year. I mean, you guys have just done a really good job on defense, being greedy, playing dragon ball, doing what you do, all in your words.
That's what we got to do.
And you said that you have some stuff for me there.
Last week, we held Spring Hill to 63 total yards, 2 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, and 9 TFLs. So we was getting the ball back to Coach Morphus. That goes back to what I always say. I'm just trying to give my brother back the ball.
63 total yards.
Yes, sir.
Oh, my gosh. That is crazy. In a full game of football, to only have 63 yards is crazy.
And that come from guys knowing what they got, knowing who they read. That come from the coaching staff, studying a lot of film. And just shout out to the coaching staff, Jack Smith with the linebackers, Lorenzo Dixon, and him and Coach Morphus in the back end, talking to the DBs. Coach Ball just oversee all of us. So that goes back to everybody doing their job, the coaches and our guys, That's pretty big.
That's awesome. That's huge. And then you said 9 tackles for loss?
Yes, sir.
And how many interceptions?
2.
I want to say 2.
Interceptions. Yes, sir.
I want to say you said 2 interceptions. Yeah, that's phenomenal. So how did you guys put up those 53 points?
Giving Coach Morphus the ball.
That's right.
Giving him the ball, and I want to say we had a scoop and score for a touch too.
Okay.
Tay Duff.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So we got to be greedy.
What position does he play?
Defensive end and inside. Defensive line, everywhere on the defensive line, anywhere I want to put him.
A big man TD?
Yes, sir.
A big man turnover TD at that?
Yes, sir.
So he was talking about it all week, I'm assuming.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
But he talked about it. He talked about it Friday after the game, and we move on. Like every Friday, I tell those guys, news flash, enjoy it right now. As soon as we go down here to the locker room, we're moving on. So that's kind of the energy that we bring to the table with those guys.
Yeah, no, I get that. That makes sense. And you want to celebrate the victories, but not for too long.
Right.
Can't get complacent.
Yep. Can't get comfortable at all.
Complacency is the enemy of growth. Yep. So I like that you guys keep it as business as usual.
Yep. And another thing, we got guys getting better every day. Like I was looking at a young guy earlier that I put him in on a D-line. He's getting better. So that's always, we building depth as the weeks and time, everything roll by day to day, day to day. So when you see young guys starting to get better, that puts something under the older guy. I need to start going harder. So that's pretty good. We got that all across the board.
And I was just about to ask about the young guys. I mean, to hold up a shutout even when young guys get in the game really shows to the discipline and the game IQ that you're putting in these players, because there are hundreds of thousands of the most talented athletes in the city or in the school district all around the country, but you've got plenty of players who play with brains rather than peak athleticism, who are far, far better when it comes to the game than these peak athletes.
And that goes back to Coach Ball holding everybody to a standard. Like, he hold me to a high standard. He hold everybody to that same standard. So you got to know what you're doing. When you hit those field house doors, you got to know what you're doing. So, and it's starting to carry over more and more. I'm starting to see younger guys holding even younger guys to a standard, and that's pretty big. So shout out to Coach Ball for holding us to that.
Yeah, and actually talking about Coach Ball, I wanted to ask, and this is something that you've kind of talked about throughout the year so far, is that you've really enjoyed studying under Coach Ball and with Coach Morphus. So what have been your biggest takeaways in studying offenses under Coach Ball and with Coach Morphus?
Learning guys 1-2 punch, and then carrying over and looking at film, and that's a 1 punch, then a 2 punch. Then you start seeing guys start to scramble. I'm starting to learn that. So, I never see Coach Ball or Coach Morphus scramble. So if I can manipulate the offensive coordinator on the other side of the field to get him to scrambling, I know I got him. So I mean, just really learning from those guys. Just learning. Coach Ball, he came from Camden. Coach Morpheus came from Hampton and Poland and a couple more other schools. But that goes back to tell you, I'm a sponge. I'm listening. I'm listening. Sometimes they be like, "Hey, Coach, why you ain't saying much?" Because I'm either jotting it down or I'm making a mental note. So that goes a long way with me.
It's really hard to listen with your ears when you're moving your jaws.
Yep, you're right. You're exactly right.
And yeah, so I have thoroughly enjoyed getting to watch the Dragons just go throughout the regular season, and I've gone back and watched parts of games and watched highlights and just different aspects of the game. And I mean, there's not a lot more exhilarating in South Arkansas than watching Junction City play football, and you guys have continued to hold up the standard this year, and you've still got a ways to go to hold up the standard.
It's our brand of man, and we got to keep holding that standard. We got to keep playing dragon ball. We got to keep giving the ball back to the offense.
Yeah,
and scoring on defense. We got to score.
That's right.
By all means, we got to score.
And talking about looking forward and continuing to hold the standard, you guys are going to host the Bearden Bears next week, but we're going to talk about that right after this break here at SouthArkansasNow.com.
More product than ever in the store history. That's what's happening at Union Kennel and Farm Supply. A huge sale is going on right now, including 50-pound bags of deer corn, only $6.50 per bag. 50-pound bags of rice bran, marked $1 off. No one, absolutely no one, has a better selection of small animals, birds, reptiles, saltwater and freshwater fish than Union Kennel and Farm Supply. 1100 West Hillsboro and El Dorado. Or call 870-864-9229.
Non-stop phone calls, registered mail, repossessions, or threats of lawsuits from creditors, and it seems like no one is willing to let you hit pause and just catch your breath. You need the help of Robert Rushing and the Rushing Law Firm. Bankruptcy is not the end. It can be a chance for a fresh start. The Rushing Law Firm goes to work for you, letting you hit that pause button and start over. Call the Rushing Law Firm today at 870-875-2940 or stop by the office at 725 Northwest Avenue in El Dorado. The Rushing Law Firm.
If you born and raised in Arkansas, make some noise right now. You got place they've built right here in your town.
Whether it's protecting families from the predators in nature, to helping food taste better and last longer naturally, or just making sure the local ball field is at its best, Lanxess is involved in our everyday lives. With more than 450 employees locally and more than $32 million in payroll each year, Lanxess is doing their part to be a good neighbor and leader in South Arkansas. With that in mind, remember to call before you dig. Know what's below. In Arkansas, it's the law and it's a free service. Call 811 before you dig. This brought to you by Lanxess.
And welcome back to Fifth and Goal, hosted here live at the Mystic Creek Grill. Just really quick, want to do a huge shout out to Mystic Creek. Again, guys, if you have not had a chance to come out here and eat some of this food, my favorite recently has been the Creole pasta with the sausage and add the shrimp. Oh my gosh, I had a big old plate. I'm actually a little miserable right now trying to do the show because I'm really full. But I'll survive. But Coach Jones, getting back to it, you guys are going to be hosting the Bearden Bears this Friday in Junction City. Now, Bearden is and I know that you guys don't really look at records, but for those of you at home, Junction is 9-1, Bearden is 6-4, and just when you're looking at this Bearden Bears team, there's a lot of history between Bearden and Junction, and the fact that it's not a conference game is really kind of crazy because, it's just right down the road. But when you're looking at this Bearden team, what are you looking at? What does their offense do well?
They run the ball well. We gotta smother them. We gotta take away everything they love to do. Just straight to the point. It's no bait, none of that. We got to line up and play dragon ball, get the ball out, take the ball away from them, win every down, not just first, second. We got to win 1 through 4. So that's That's what we got to do. They're really good. I mean, a lot of people talk about the history of Junction and us playing, but it's not about the history. It's about right now.
You know, that's right. It is about the right now, and Junction this year has done really, really well, with your only loss being to a 3A team that only has one loss all year themselves. And so you guys have done really well so far this year, and I am hoping and expecting you guys to come back with a good dominant win. And I've just what should fans expect to see from the Bearden defense whenever you guys are on offense? Have you really looked at that? I know
I done looked at everything, but I'm not Coach Morphus to sit up here and explain that to you.
Yeah.
I know what's going on, but I'll let Coach Morphus explain that. We're going to get out there and do what we do on offense, no matter how they line up.
There you go. I like it. I genuinely, I've just all season long, I've loved that it's we're just going to go do what we do, play our brand of football, and be greedy. And you guys have just continued to do that. You know, those aren't just empty words coming out of yours and Coach Morphus's mouth, but it's as somebody who's watching and paying attention to your guys' season, it seems like those are words that y'all are truly living by.
It's a standard.
You're right. And I know that when you drive into Junction or you walk into any of the gyms or the football stadium, you see all those state championship titles, and you feel the
when you cross those railroad tracks going into Junction, is something different.
That's right, 100%. And now, obviously, you guys are taking it 1 week at a time. You got to win this week to make it to next week. It's the playoffs, and we understand that. But as coaches, I know that you guys are looking forward and looking ahead. And so, if you were to win this game, how many home games could you have through the rest of the playoffs?
If Hampton keep winning, we'll have to go to Hampton.
Okay.
But if Hampton lose, everybody got to come to Junction.
Okay.
But we 1 week at a time. We're worried about this Bearden game that's coming up on Friday. We sprint till Friday.
We're
running to it. We ain't backing down. None of that. We running till Friday.
So has there been any kind of mind shift change? Oh man, words.
Switching gears.
Yes, any switching gears.
We got to switch gears, pick up the tempo, pick up the pace with everything we do. Kind of like the time change. We're just picking up the pace. You feel it, the weather, everything changing, big guys running around. The smaller guys study, getting faster, Hey, I'm getting excited just talking about it because I seen some big guys earlier that I usually don't see moving around the way they move around this whole week.
And I know that you and Coach Porter were talking about it a little bit between breaks, and when it cools off like it has this week, it really does rile up the big guys because they're not getting as hot and as tired as quickly. And if there's one thing I know about linemen of any level, it is they love playing in the cold.
And it starts up front.
Yes,
sir.
That's right. And is there anything? And I feel like I really kind of know the answer to this one, but is there anything specific that you guys are working on looking at Bearden? Is there any looks that they really like to go to where maybe they switch things up, or is there any aspect of the game that you are focusing on going into the playoffs?
We're focusing on all aspects of the game. It's us versus us. We got to go out there and do what we do: play dragon ball, eliminate penalties, and come out with a dub. That's what we got to do.
So, do you guys feel as if the only team in the playoffs that can beat Junction is Junction?
Yes, sir. Yep. And we ain't overlooking no one, but it's us versus us.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. And is there anything else that you want to say about about your team before we let you go for this week?
Shout out to everybody that's looking at this. Shout out to Coach Ball, Coach Smith, Coach Morphus, Coach Dixon, Coach Larry, the whole defense, the whole team. Shout out to them. Be ready to show up on Friday, play dragon ball.
And that game's going to start at 7 in Junction City, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so if you're a Junction City Dragon fan, you've got to be at the stadium no later than 6:45 because you've got to get the energy up. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I won't speak for you guys, but the game is going to be at 7. Your Dragons are hosting the first playoff game of the year. You guys should be there. And, Coach, it's an honor to have you on, and I'm looking forward to talking to you a few more times before.
It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, well,
Yes,
shoot, I consider the honor mine. And I'm looking forward to getting to talk to you a couple more times before the season's over.
Gotcha.
So, Coach, it's an honor, and we'll be right back here at SouthArkansasNow.com.
Yes, sir.
PCI has been shaping the future of manufacturing for over 40 years, and they're doing it right here in El Dorado, Arkansas. PCI is one of America's leading producers of polyethylene containers, known for quality, innovation, and teamwork. Join a fast-paced, rewarding career where your work keeps the world moving. And because PCI is a veteran-owned company, they value things like dedication, diversity, and drive. Are you ready to take your career to the next level? Apply today at polypails.com/careers.
Rated the #1 course in Arkansas by Golf Week, Mystic Creek is truly a hidden gem, complemented by a modern clubhouse, complete with panoramic views. It also features a fully stocked pro shop and Mystic Grill serving contemporary American cuisine and Southern classics. Mystic Creek promises an unforgettable experience.
Serving South Arkansas for 25 years, and all the while expanding and growing throughout the state. ProMed Ambulance is proving their motto of world-class care and hometown values. For example, their new mobile integrated healthcare communication center. This state-of-the-art facility allows communication specialists to work directly with local 911 call centers to ensure the closest medical team is always dispatched to any emergency. World-class care and hometown values. For more information and career opportunities, go to ProMedAmbulance.com.
And welcome back to Fifth and Goal, hosted here live at the Mystic Creek Grill. My name is Jax Sanford. I'm sitting here with the head coach of the Smackover Buckaroos, Coach Don Harrison. Coach, what a win that you guys got on Friday. You guys took home a win after traveling to Falk. You guys won 70-28. Now, I know that a point differential of 42 points has to feel good to end the regular season.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we feel like the last, 2 games for sure, we're playing pretty high level on offense and executing, but we're also getting those turnovers, and every time we're getting those turnovers, cashing in. And, that's a big thing we talk about with our kids. When our defense gets a turnover, we need to make sure to, you get that turnover, you get that momentum. We need to cash in that momentum, and we did every time we got a pick. I think we got 4 picks and we got 4 picks, and we got a fumble. And one of the picks, we couldn't really do anything. We got it right before half to stop them. They kind of chunked up a Hail Mary, and we made Keaton Thurman made a heck of a play right there. And so we just nailed the ball and went in at half. But, we really feel good about offensively what we're doing and how we've been executing the last couple weeks. So, I feel like we went against 2 good teams there, and we handled business. But, I think we had 400-something yards this week. We had 496 a week before. So, feel good about what we're doing.
Yeah, so just kind of give me a little bit of detail here. Who scored your points, and did it come off of primarily runs or passes or what?
It was a little bit of both. I think Mitchell was 14 for 18 for 174 yards, and he threw 4 touchdowns. And then I think he had 3 carries for 25, and he ran 1 in. But the night was about Joe Brown. I believe he had 15 carries, 274 yards, and 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns. So big night for Joe. Really offensive line blocking at a high level, executing at a high level. Joe's reading it really well, and I mean he had a great night. I think Juice had 3 or 4 catches, 80-something yards. 2 of them were touchdowns. He had an interception. He returned the opening kickoff of the game, 69 yards to start the game. They kicked it to him and he returned it. So I mean, that's a guy that ended the year with 19 touchdowns total. So I mean, and Robert Carden, we got in our little heavy package where we snap Robert the ball. He scored again. So a lot of guys getting a lot of chances. Jaden Bryant scored early in the game, I think, to give us a 2-touchdown lead in the second quarter. Ran a great route. Probably should have had another one. I thought he had another one, but they ended up and called him down on like the 1-foot line, and that's when Robert went in and in our heavy yardage package and punched it in. So, a lot of guys touching the ball, a lot of guys contributing.
And you saying that a lot of guys are getting touches and contributing. When the young guys got in, it takes more than just the starters to win 70 to 28. So when the young guys got in, what were they doing? What were they doing right?
Well, defensively, our young guys played the most on defense, and they did a really good job. They got down there. I think it was like 1st and goal from the 6-yard line, and our young guys on defense, they held them, and they didn't let them score there late in the game. Made a couple of plays, really good plays at right near the goal line where they stuffed them. Then they got a play for a loss and forced them into throwing the ball, and we kind of broke it up there. So young guys did a great job on defense, keeping them out of the end zone there late in the game. And so, a lot of our young guys at linebacker and outside linebacker making plays. Ryder Beasley, Thomas Walker, Slade Arnold making some big plays. Thomas Perry made a couple of tackles there late in the game that keep them from scoring. So I was really proud of that group and how they did a good job in fighting and keeping them from scoring an extra one there at the end.
And with you guys concluding the regular season last week, and we'll talk more playoffs here, and we'll talk about the playoffs here in a minute.
Yeah.
But when you look back at the regular season throughout the year, what are some of maybe the highlights or the parts that you look back on really fondly just from the regular season?
The first game of the year, we were playing Juice Central. I think that was a big win just because. I mean, that's a team that finished second in their division. They're a 2 seed going in the playoffs, and we played really well that game. And it was good to come out fast and get that win to start the year. So I was proud of them for that. Fountain Lake then comes in. There's another team. I think they're a 4 seed in 4A, so that's a really good team. They're in the playoffs in 4A, and we came out and we beat them at home. And then we traveled to Junction City, and that was a big game. As a first year, they did that whole battle of 82 and had the trophy and all that. And for us to come out victorious against a really good Junction City team, that's really, one of those things that I look fondly on. I mean, when Mitchell goes down in the Harmony Grove game and instead of panicking, everybody just stays calm, and Trayson Parler comes in and does a great job and plays at a high level and gets better every week. Started to execute. We started to find out a lot about Trayson and what he can do and things that makes his game go. And we were still scoring points and doing the things we need to do offensively. I look fondly on that. And then, the Prescott game was big for us. We knew that was going to be a big game. Losing the Bismarck game kind of put us behind the 8 ball a little bit, and we wanted to be in this 2nd seed. We couldn't go back and do anything about losing to Bismarck, but we were pretty sure Bismarck probably wasn't going to lose a game for the rest of the year. So that Prescott game was exactly what it was. It was going to see who was the 2 or who was the 3. And, we were up 21-13 at half and came back and scored those points and defensively made some great adjustments and stopped them. So I was really proud of that. So those are the things I look back on, and hopefully we'll look back on a lot more because our story's not done, our year's not done. So looking back and, hopefully here in a few weeks we'll look back and have a lot more neat memories and things to take away from this year.
Yeah, I mean, just when I look back at previous episodes and go back and look at your guys' season, just to see the way that you have performed and continued to come out and be consistent and in your execution and consistent in your defensive execution. I was bragging on you guys earlier today. Somebody was asking me about the different teams around the county, and I was just bragging on you guys and talking about how well you've been playing, and it's been great to get here, get to have these on Tuesdays and get to talk with you about your team. And we'll actually talk a little bit about the playoffs coming up right after this break here at SouthArkansasNow.com.
For longer than most of us can remember, Timber Lane Meat Market has been a staple of our community, where quality meats and friendly faces come standard. From everyday dinners to weekend cookouts, make it fresh, make it local, make it Timber Lane. Be sure to check out the daily lunch specials and like us on Facebook. Timber Lane Meat Market, 1336 West Hillsboro in El Dorado. Proud to be part of South Arkansas, and even more proud to be displayed on your table.
Bad things happen, and of course, they never happen at the right time. Maybe it's just a little bump and cosmetic damage, or it's turned into a huge insurance claim, and you just don't know where to go next. That's why so many of your neighbors and friends call on Cook's Body Shop in El Dorado. From the minor to the major, Cook's Body Shop is in your corner. Need someone to help you deal with insurance? Look to Cook's. Need advice on what to do next? Look to Cook's. Need a free estimate? Look to Cook's. Bad things are going to happen, and when they do, look to Cook's.
When it comes to protecting your home or business, trust the name that's been serving South Arkansas for 3 generations, Cross Roofing and Sheet Metal. From residential roofs to large commercial projects, the experienced team at Cross delivers quality you can see and reliability you can count on. Cross Roofing and Sheet Metal, built on trust, proven by results. Call Cross Roofing today. Put a solid future over your head.
Hitting a buck to hang on the wall rarely happens by accident. It starts with preparation, takes some skill, and often even a little luck. Country Village Sporting Goods is your headquarters for all 3. Right now, check out a brand new shipment of feeders, so new that they're still pulling them out of the boxes. A huge selection of lacrosse boots and plenty of warm weather camo for that early season hunt. And of course, bow hunters can't go wrong with the sales and service at Country Village Sporting Goods, 965 Smackover Highway in El Dorado.
And welcome back to South Arkansas Now's 5th and Goal, hosted here live at the Mystic Creek Grill. My name is Jax Sanford, sitting here with the head coach for the Smackover Buckaroos, Don Harrison. Coach, you guys are going to be hosting the Hackett Hornets.
Yes, sir.
Coming to Smackover this Friday. You guys are 9-1 on the season, and Hackett finished their season so far 6-4. When you're watching film on this Hackett, and we talked a little bit about this last week before we knew exactly who it was going to be, but when you're watching film on Hackett, what are you looking at?
Well, offensively, when I'm watching them, what front are they in? What coverage are they trying to play? Who's their best defensive player? Who's their worst defensive player? I try to look at, who can we get better matchups with? Jaden Bryant, big, tall body type kid. I need to get him on somebody that he can control with, his body type. Juice, I'm trying to look at who might be the slowest, might not have the best feet because he can cross them up the way he runs routes. So I'm looking at that kind of stuff as well, looking at the one-on-ones. And then, you got to look at their front, with our offensive line. Who do we need to run at? Who do we try to run away from and things like that? And then defensively, when we're watching somebody else's offense, very similar. How's their O-line? It always starts with the O-line. How's their O-line? Is their O-line any good? Are they physical? Can they pass block? What are we looking at? And then, what are their skills guys? The skill guys look at. Who are they trying to get the ball to? Are they a smoke and mirrors team, or are they a ground and pound team? Are they going to line up and you kind of know where it's going? And it's all about execution. It's all about, a tone they have with their offense. Or are they smoke and mirrors team? Do they like to fake a lot of stuff and try to make you look over here when they're doing something over there? And we've got to be disciplined with our eyes and make sure we don't fall for things like that. So those are the kind of things I look at. And then you start looking at tendencies. They blitz a lot on third down. Do they throw a lot on third down? You just kind of have to start looking at those analytics, and it helps you put a game plan together.
Sounds like a great answer.
I've been doing it a few years, so I started out sitting in rooms, and I was told to be seen and not heard. So I got to sit and listen in a lot of rooms to a lot of really smart football coaches from I got to spend time with Houston Nutt and his coaching staff, and I kind of cut my teeth listening to those guys talk about what to do offensively and where they could hurt their defense. And then, Coach Malzahn, he had a whole different way of looking at a defense and what he could do to it. And then when I went and worked for Rick Jones down in Greenwood, again, he was not the same as those other two guys about how he analyzed things. So I kind of took a little bit from every one of them and kind of put it together. And it also, a lot of it depends on what you have. The first thing I'm trying to do is look at matchups for Juice and Jaden and how we can get Joe the ball and make it successful. So a lot of it has to do with your personnel as well.
And speaking of your personnel, how are the guys responding this week in practice, knowing that it's playoff time?
Oh, they're excited. We talked about it Monday when we started, getting ready for practice. We could be in here turning in pads and cleaning helmets up and cleaning out lockers, and guys could be going on to basketball and getting ready to go to baseball off season and stuff like that, and we're not. And so, I think they knew they were going to be in this position. I think they knew, they were going to be in the playoffs. Now, they didn't know where they were going to be, but I think they knew they were going to be in this position, and we talked about it all year long. I mean, it's a grind. And I told them week 4, you think you're tired now, wait till week 12 and 13 and 14, you think your body's a little sore now, you need to start taking care of it. So they did a really good job of doing that kind of stuff, and to the point where, like I said, I feel like they're there, but they're really excited to be there. They're really excited to be hosting a home game in front of, being able to play another one in front of their community. I think they're very excited.
And if you guys win this game on Friday, how many home games could you have before?
Well, it's for sure, if we win, we for sure host another one. So we will host the winner of Mayflower and Harmony Grove. So if we win, Friday, we'll host another one Friday, and then it kind of just depends. We're on the bottom side of the bracket, so for sure, if it's a 1, we don't. If it's a 2, it turns into who's on top of the bracket. We're on the bottom side of the bracket. But, there's a couple of 3s that are near us that we could see in the 3rd or 4th round. And, you kind of start looking at that. So you don't want to really just kind of quit, you don't want to start neglecting the field. You still got to take care of the field and keep it up just in case those 3s keep winning, because if it ends up being us and a 3, it doesn't matter if they're on the top of the bracket. It's highest seed goes, highest seed host. So we could find a way to get back, but we need some help from a 3 to keep winning. So, but yeah, you just, we're trying to take it. I think I've told you all year long, we're trying to be 1-0. Mm-hmm. That's what we're worried about. We're trying not to look to bracket and look at this and look at that. And so, we're focused on Hackett and getting this win and moving on to the next round. And then, as soon as that's, the case, we'll get ready for the next opponent, and we don't know who that is, and you never know in playoff time. You don't want to sit there and be like, oh, for sure it's this person. You never know. So you got to make sure that you are keeping yourself, grounded and making sure. And winning games in the playoffs comes down to execution. But, man, sometimes it's luck. Sometimes the ball just bounces your way, and you end up deeper in the playoffs than a lot of people thought. And, sometimes, what's the old saying, it's better to be lucky than good.
That's
sometimes
right.
I'd rather be lucky than good.
That's right. You can be good at poker all day long, but
so what cards are you getting?
Yeah, exactly. Right, yeah. Exactly. And who are you wanting to see in the playoffs this year? Is there anybody specific? Are you wanting? Okay.
No, I really don't think of it like that. I know this. If you ask the kids, they would love a chance to play Bismarck again healthy.
Yeah.
They would love that. And unfortunately, the only time to play Bismarck, if we get a chance, is in War Memorial again, because they're on the very, very top.
Right.
So the only chance we would get to see Bismarck, the kids would say that. I've been doing this a long time, and I've got all the state championship rings and have been through this. And I just, like I said, whoever gets in front of you, that's who you got to play. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how hard the bracket is for your side, or some people feel like the bracket's easier on one side than the other because of just how things fell. It doesn't matter. It depends on who they put in front of you. So I really don't, there's a chance we'd have to see Fordyce. I think we could see Fordyce in the third round. Those guys are right down the road, and if I was going to have to travel, I wouldn't mind going just down to Fordyce.
Right.
Instead of getting on the Yellow Dogs and making a 4-hour trip, that's always nice. But, I really don't, I really see some people, most of the time I see these guys as faceless opponents. I know the Junction City game was a little different. Those kids, they all grew up together. They know each other. It's a big deal, but really for me, not being from around here, not knowing a lot of these guys, a game is a game to me, and I'm not really worried about that. So whoever we match up with, that's who we have to play. I'm not looking forward to anything, but I think if you ask my players, they would say they'd like another shot at Bismarck for sure.
And that's the kind of mentality that you want from your players.
Oh yeah.
And Coach, well, it's been an honor getting to have you on just every week so far this during the regular season.
Yeah.
And we're going to continue the show as long as Union County teams are winning playoff games. And so I'm looking forward to getting to talk to you over the next several weeks.
Man, I'd love to keep coming back here on Tuesday night as long as I could.
Yeah. Hopefully
keep talking to you and hanging out with you. That means we're still alive, man.
Yeah, that's right. And hopefully we're in December getting to have this conversation.
Oh yeah, I'd love to come sit in here and look at all the Christmas decorations. I'm sure they decorate it real nice.
Hey, listen, man, this place during Christmas time is real festive.
Well, I'd love to be here during Christmas time, and I've enjoyed coming in here and getting to meet you and spend time talking to you every Tuesday night. So it's been fun. I really enjoy it.
Well, likewise, Coach, and we appreciate you. And we'll be right back with Coach Chris Borowski from El Dorado at SouthArkansasNow.com.
Homes are typically heated or cooled 24/7, 365, using nearly half of all home energy. That new stainless steel refrigerator may look cool, but upgrading to the quietest and most efficient HVAC system can have much greater rewards. Choose a system with a Wi-Fi-enabled thermostat, so the most important appliance in the house is also the smartest, allowing you to set the perfect comfort level from anywhere. Presented by Lennox. Learn what perfect feels like at Lennox.com.
Derrick Henry.
Hey, Jake from State Farm. I saved so much bundling, it inspired my workout. Auto! Home!
Okay. And this is auto again, right?
Auto!
Hey, this is my living room.
Home!
Bundling. Just another way to save with the personal price plan.
The dog isn't allowed on the couch, Derek.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
At Carl Malone Power Sports El Dorado, we've got the biggest selection of ATVs, UTVs, and motorcycles ready to ride today. Take advantage of special financing, unbeatable trade-in values, and service you can trust to keep you on the trails. Whether it's work, play, or pure adrenaline, we've got the machine to fit your lifestyle. Carl Malone Power Sports El Dorado, where selection, savings, and service all deliver. Come see us today.
You're tough, determined to take challenges head on. But when cancer strikes, you'll need more than strength. You'll need the right care. We provide the tools you need to fight and the compassionate care you need to keep going. Every step of the way. Carti. We're with you.
And welcome back to Fifth and Goal. My name's Jax Sanford. We're live here at the Mystic Creek Grill. I'm sitting here with the offensive line coach, Coach Borowski. And, Coach, great to have you back 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, man, how did I get so privileged?
I'm sitting here wondering the same thing about myself. But you guys brought home a pretty big W from Sheridan on Friday. Wildcats won 62-23 after traveling to Sheridan. And before we just get too much into it, Coach, I want to ask you to compare the team that you have today headed into the playoffs to the team that we saw in the first half versus Little Rock Christian.
Oh, it's a whole different team. Maturity is one thing, experience is another. like I said, the first half of that Little Rock Christian game was, it's what the preseason is for. You're evaluating talent and things that you have a plan for, you put in place, and you see in the fire, is this going to be something that we can move going forward? And obviously, I think in the second half of that game, we found a little bit more of our identity. It's going to be definitely a big run first behind Jeremy Samuel, an offensive line, more physical style. I think the first half of that Little Rock Christian game, it was more fast screens and trying to get the ball in the perimeter, and we had sophomore Christian Williams out there and sophomore Justin Hammett. So, I mean, we were really kind of evaluating kind of what those guys can do. You like to win them all, but again, I think there was some valuable learning that took place there moving forward. And now, as we get ready to go into the playoffs, those guys are a little more seasoned, as they should be. We kind of have an idea of who we want to be. And now it's just about, honing in on the details and practicing every day. Really, this time of year is focused on your opponent. Most of the stuff that you have in offensively, defensively, you're really just polishing by this point. And so, the team has really come a long way, and they've been through some ups and downs. And like I said, they just keep coming back in the senior class. They're hungry. They're ready for this next season, and we have it up on all over the weight room and in the locker room, and it's playoff season, 0-0. What we've done before, nothing matters. All the good stuff we did doesn't matter. All the bad stuff we did doesn't matter either. And so now we're coming in with a clean slate, and we got to go 1-0, and that's the big thing about playoff time. Man, you got to win the day, you got to win Friday. If not, your season's over. So there's it's a little bit more on the line every day.
That's right. And now, in that Sheridan game, you guys won 62-23, but that score very easily could have been 80, 90 something to 23, or less than 23. Looks like after going back and looking at, I think there were a total of 6 dropped interception opportunities by the defense, and some of them were right into some guys' hands. Others were bobbled passes that were almost intercepted, and you guys still were able to come out and get the win, even with those dropped interceptions. And just what has your team focused on to have that kind of resiliency this year? Because you went through you went through the loss that you guys went through with Little Rock Christian, and then you rattled off a couple of wins, and then you had back-to-back losses against conference opponents, Sylvan Hills and Benton, and then you came back and finished the season strong with three wins in a row. Yeah. And what's contributed to that resiliency in your guys and in the coaching staff?
Oh, it's just what the goals are. We all set goals at the beginning of the year that we want to win. We want to win a state championship. And so we got to remind ourselves, and we got to evaluate ourselves every day, and we got to continue to hold ourselves to the standard as coaches and players alike. And again, the kids have responded, and we do have a good number of seniors that are playing this year. We are a very senior heavy team, so they do have experience. They have experienced those ups and those downs. We'd love to have those games back, that we don't. But the nature of the East is you get it. You get one shot. You get one shot, and if you're lucky, you may get to see him again in the playoff. But we have to bounce back, and we have to focus on, all right, that last play, next play. That game is over. Let's put it behind us. Let's learn from it, but we got to move forward on to the next one. We're not going to dwell into things that we have no control over anymore. We got to control us, the things that we can control, how we practice. We can control that. Our attitude, we can control that. Our effort, we can control that. And those are things that we really got to focus on. And so, it was good. It was good to finish the regular conference play with the win. You talk about the dropped interceptions. I call them missed opportunities. Like we were there, and that was a good thing. We were in the right spot.
That's right.
And so there is a plus to that we were where we needed to be, and again against a very a complex offense. And Coach Kelly and what he does over there. So. I think our defensive coaching staff, Coach Abels, man, they did a phenomenal job with having a plan together, and our kids really bought into that and executed. And that's, I think the last time I was here, we talked about focusing moving forward at this time of year. Like you want to be flawless. You want to be able to execute in those things. So that was kind of like the negative takeaway. There was a lot of missed opportunities out there. And thankfully, we were able to overcome some of those missed opportunities. Now, moving forward, we got to capitalize on those opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's what I would like to have seen. So, and that's the same. You know, there. You know, we want to be better. Obviously, I think every kid does, and coaches do. So.
I want to go back to some confusion that happened during the game. There was a pass interference call when the Wildcats were on a fourth down in Sheridan territory in the red zone. Pass interference call should be, from my understanding of the rules, that should be an automatic first down for the Wildcats. But instead, it remained fourth down. You guys didn't get the touchdown, and it was a turnover on downs.
I think they called us for a defensive holding instead of a pass interference, which was, you know, we just got the yardage and we had to, you know, you can sit there and say it should have been this, it was that. You know, it doesn't do us any good at that point in time. And so the biggest thing was that I get frustrated about was we left it to chance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like to have been cleaner in that play. I like to have had maybe a better route, better protection, those type of things where we're not relying on a call. Why are we even in fourth down to begin with?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and those are things that we really got to focus on. Like if we ever look back and say this game came down to a call, well then that's a cop out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had 100 missed opportunities when it should never got to that point. You know, and so, you know, but hey, we were able to get back and overcome those things. I think we had 4 touchdowns called back offensively, and we go back and watch film, and you're like, you know, you shake your head, but at the end of the day, like, what can you do? You know, what can you do? So we just try to tell our kids, hey, you got to overcome. You got to overcome whether it be a questionable call, bad call, good call. Like, you know, the best way to do it is play hard, do your job, play with great discipline and great technique, and let's not let it come down to that.
Yeah, and just looking back on the season, as the season's progressed, I mean, this Wildcat offense has continued just to be a steam engine, and you kind of alluded to it a little bit already. You know, get J.J. Samuel behind the offensive line and let him do his thing. But what has just really contributed to the execution that the offense has been able to put out so far this year?
You know, Jeremy's a great player, and Cannon Jacobs at quarterback is definitely a threat every time he touches the ball. So when you have a quarterback that can mobile and can move, that stresses the defense out quite a bit. JJ is built different. You know, he's one of those kids that, you know, every time you look up, you don't know where he is. He's probably in the weight room getting extra work. He's probably on the field getting extra running in. He does a lot of the things that, you know, the coaches have the cliche saying about, you know, putting in those extra. He's there. He does that. And so when he's healthy, he's really good. But he's also surrounded by some threats, some things that you have to defend. You got Christian Williams, you got Bronson Brock, Paxton Strong, who's a versatile player. He's he's big enough to be an H-back tight end body, then you flex out. And so having that balance around him really helps him open up what he does, and then by doing what he does, really opens up what the guys around him do.
Yeah, so Cannon has really grown just as this season has progressed, and just, you know, what's been the biggest contributor to Cannon's growth this season, from the performance in the very first game to the confidence that we saw him with under center against Sheridan?
Oh, Cannon's a competitor. I mean, that's the big thing. He's a competitor. You look at him from a year ago. I don't think a year ago he was planning on being there. He's planning on being quarterback, and you know, quarterback is a tough position to play, especially at the highest level, any level. It is. You are basically the coach on the field, and you're to make us right, make call, make adjustment, whatever it is. And so having that year of growth under his belt. Last year, moving into this one, now knowing what to expect, now knowing what we expect out of him as well. You know, he's really just kind of emerged into this version, the best version of him. I think that's the best way to put it. He's not what some offenses would want in a quarterback. He is what other offenses would want in a quarterback, and so he's really found his presence, his position, his way here on our offense, and we've been able to kind of build around that. And so it's really been nice to see kind of that growth and him emerging into the player that he is now.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It's been just exhilarating to see just week after week the improvements and in his decision making, in his ability to throw the ball and make the read faster, and just watching him grow as a quarterback over the season has been phenomenal. And we're actually going to talk about the playoffs here in just a second when we come back after this at SouthArkansasNow.com.
When it comes to your family's financial future, peace of mind matters. At Harrison Financial Management, they are right here to help you plan, grow, and protect what matters most. Whether you're planning for retirement, investing wisely, or securing your family's future, they will guide you every step of the way. Harrison Financial Management, your future, their commitment.
Need equipment for your next job? Don't settle for the traditional rental experience.
The rental experience with Equipment Share is a great experience. We rent everything from dozers to skid loaders, mini excavators, even smaller hand tools. They've always got what we need. They're timely. The billing is quick and accurate. The guys are able to set it up. They do it through their phone. I love Equipment Share. Renting with Equipment Share is not like any other company out there. It's 1,000 times better.
PCI has been shaping the future of manufacturing for over 40 years, and they're doing it right here in El Dorado, Arkansas. PCI is one of America's leading producers of polyethylene containers, known for quality, innovation, and teamwork. Join a fast-paced, rewarding career where your work keeps the world moving. And because PCI is a veteran-owned company, they value things like dedication, diversity, and drive. Are you ready to take your career to the next level? Apply today at polypails.com/careers.
And welcome back to Mystic Creek Grill, here for another episode of 5th and Goal. My name's Jax Sanford. I've got Coach Chris Borowski here with me. Coach, the El Dorado Wildcats are going to host Lake Hamilton this Friday at Memorial Stadium here in El Dorado. Wildcats are 7-3. Lake Hamilton is 3-7. And I know that you guys don't look at records really going into especially a playoff game. And El Dorado has some history with Lake Hamilton. For those people at home who maybe don't know some of the history with Lake Hamilton, you've been here. You know about it. You just kind of give us a quick rundown on that.
I mean, it's just two great programs competing is really what that is. We've played them back in 09, 08, actually, in the state title game. Mm-hmm. And, they just developed a healthy rivalry when we were both in the west side of the conference there. And again, take nothing away from them. They're a great football team. And so it's one of those opponents that we steadily had to come across and playoff history in those runs where we made state title appearances that you definitely had to go through Lake Hamilton to get there. And so now, with us being in the East and them being in the West, we don't get to see them as often unless we meet up in the playoff time. So it's going to be good to kind of have that back again. Again, those are always fun parts of sports, and when you have rivalries and those type of things. So I'm not sure really with the kids now have been away from that conference so long as it means something to them as it does really for some of us older folks who've had to face them a lot. But nonetheless, it's going to be a great game. Coach Gillerin has brought a hard-nosed approach to Lake Hamilton, and many, many moons ago you were going to get 900 formations and shifts and all those things, and now we're going to see a wing tee. You're going to see a guy under center, and as well as the very next play, there'll be an empty. And so I think that's going to pose some things for us to have to deal with, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a great night of football on Friday.
And one of the things that Lake Hamilton is going to have to deal with is the level of physicality that this defense brings. And I know that we talk about it week in and week out, but when they're as physical as they are, I mean, you're talking about one of, if not the most physical defense in all of Arkansas football at the high school level. What have you what has the coaching staff been putting in the defense's head every day before they step out on the field to bring the level of physicality that they do?
It's hard to say if you put in their head or do you just hold them to the expectation. I shouldn't have to be a cheerleader for you to do your job. And your job on defense is obviously to be physical. We make statements all the time. In the game of football, it's a violent game. But most issues in the game of football can be solved with violence. And you got to be the hammer or you're going to be the nail.
That's right.
And that's kind of one of those things that we really just kind of preach to them and expect from them. And, whether it be redirecting routes or we're finishing through a tackle or make sure when I get there, I'm getting there with some authority behind it. And again, they love it. We got a great linebacker core with Ja'Cory Lumsey, Bertavion Brown, Spencer Poole, and every one of those guys will, they will light you up in a hurry. And then we got a physical defensive line up there. They've been coached by El Dorado legend, Coach Jimmy Johnson.
That's right.
He does a phenomenal job with those guys. And so if you're going to play El Dorado football, it's going to be physical. And that can go from the kicker all the way to a wideout quarterback. It doesn't matter. That's just kind of the culture that we've created there.
Yeah, and just a quick hypothetical for you to consider. You've got 25 yards of open field between you and the end zone. There's one player standing between you and the end zone. It's Ja'Cory Lumsey. How much are we paying you to take that chance?
Boy, you have to pay me a lot. You're going to have to pay me a lot. I'm going to find the far corner and get away from him. He's probably going to get me, but I was able to take him to the radio show this morning, and he was our State Farm Player of the Week, and it was just a great honor to take him there because he's a phenomenal kid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the more I get to be around him, the more I just love him to death and kind of who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Not just how he plays, but how he carries himself, how he – he's willing to talk the talk and walk the walk. And, yeah, he man, again, I was telling this morning that he started every game since he was in the 9th grade.
Yeah.
In 6A football as a freshman, as a linebacker especially, when you're playing inside there with, big grown men, so to speak, that speaks a lot for him. And to stay healthy, stay consistent the way he has been through that 4 years, man, he's special. And I think he's going to find some place to play on Saturday, and whoever gets him is going to get a heck of a deal with him.
Yeah, I mean, as a freshman, Ja'Cory Lumsey was playing against other Ja'Cory Lumseys and doing well.
Yes.
And so now, Coach, I know that you guys want to take it 1 week at a time, but at the same time, as coaches, you have to look forward at future possibilities. And so if you guys are able to win this Friday at home, you will then next week travel to Springdale and face Shiloh Christian. And for the people at home who might not just be too familiar with Shiloh Christian, just kind of what do they do well?
Man, they're a solid football team. They traveled up the classifications and continue to do well. Not being a large school, but those guys they're good. There's no other way to put it. Greenwood is good. They're good. Sylvan Hills is good. Benton's good. El Dorado's good. And so it's going to be a good game. And those guys are intelligent. You can tell that they're well coached, or well disciplined kids, and they play a different style of football than people down in South Arkansas do. So if we were able to do what we need to do on Friday and we see them, I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a physical game for us, and I think that's going to be something that they're going to have to deal with. And so, I'm definitely, again, it's really hard to focus and look forward to that when you know the task at hand coming up.
Right. And I understand that, and I know that you got to make it through this week before you can think about next week. Yeah. And you've got to make it through the next week before you can think about the week after that. But it is more than likely that the winner of the Shiloh Christian winner of the game for the Wildcats Friday night will face Sylvan Hills in the semifinals. And what would it mean to get to face off against that Sylvan Hills team again in the playoffs? And
that would be special. That would be special. I think a lot of our kids have a bad taste in their mouth from how things went the last time we played them. And again, taking nothing away from the other Coach Kelly, man, he's done a phenomenal job. Year one, flipped that program completely upside down. Has created a culture of winning there. So he does a phenomenal job. But I think, if it all plays out that way, I think that's what we would really like to see. We would really love to have that game back to do over again. And again, I think just from a personal standpoint, we could definitely have a different outcome.
Right. No, I definitely think that game could go a million different ways than the way it did earlier in the season. And Coach, it's been an honor to get to call the games on Friday night. I have thoroughly enjoyed just getting to call the Wildcat games and be a part of that and to watch you guys just grow and get better each and every week. Even in the weeks where you didn't take home a win, you knew that the Wildcats were coming back as a better team the next week. And Coach, we're going to run this show all the way through Union County being in the playoffs, and so I'm hoping that we're going to be here the next couple of weeks, whether it be me and you, me and Coach Hill, Coach Johnson, Coach Lair. It doesn't matter. I'm just hoping that I'm getting to talk to an El Dorado coach here in a couple weeks.
You and me both. I'm excited about it, and again, just thank you guys for what you do. I got a chance to watch the feed last time, and I got a chance to see your interview with JJ. Man, I was just tickled pink to see him, and he's a man of few words.
Yes, he is.
And he just cracks me up to see that. But I don't think you guys. I don't know if you realize or not what that really means to them. These are some great memories that these kids are going to cherish forever. They get to go back and look and see, and just for that brief moment in time, man, like it feels like they're celebrities. And it's a phenomenal thing, and again, I think we're beyond thankful for what you guys are doing. And I know if you don't ever hear it enough, but thank you for what y'all do.
Well, shoot, we're glad to be doing it, and I actually did have some players come up to me after the game at Sheridan Friday night, like Marsavius Ishmael, and they just expressed their gratitude and I got to highlight some of these superstars that I have and talk to them that I haven't gotten to talk to a lot of them so far this year, and so that was actually my first time to talk to JJ, and that was my first time to talk to Marsavius, and got to talk to a couple other guys, and it was my first time talking to them, and I told them, like, man, guys, you guys just keep making me proud, and I'm glad to get to do what I do with you guys, and it's just been a real honor. And Coach, we appreciate you. And now Friday night, we have been approved. Guys, this is official announcement. Pay attention. South Arkansas now has been approved to stream playoff games this year, and so you actually will be able to stream the games. If you're not going to be able to be there, you can stream them on southarkansasnow.com, our Facebook, or our YouTube page, and so we're excited about that. If you are at all interested in being a part of the production or being a sponsor for the production, please just reach out to me. My email is Jax, Jax, at southarkansasnow.com. But yeah, we're excited to be around for you guys, and we're hoping to just continue to do better. And it actually just tickles me that the coaches and the players go back on Friday night and watch the game, because Huddle's not posted yet, and that tickles me, because I know that if nothing, we're providing the guys an opportunity to go ahead and start studying the game, and knowing that that's an opportunity for them is just exhilarating. But with that being said, Coach, it's been an honor having you on tonight, and I'm looking forward to having the Wildcats on for weeks to come. So with that being said, I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of the night. This is Jax Sanford with South Arkansas Now.
Go Cats.